How to breed cats. Breeding cats is a serious, time-intensive, expensive undertaking, but can also be a very rewarding experience incorporating a lot of very cute kittens. These are the basic requirements for safely breeding healthy, happy cats. Method 1. Planning ahead. Pick what breed of cat you want. There are almost always plenty of kittens in animal shelters, and breeding purebred or pedigreed cats is a good way to make sure your kittens have something to recommend them over the rescue cats. Picking the breed that you like most is certainly an option, but if you have any concern about finding homes for the kittens, consider selecting your parent cats from a popular breed that isn't already represented in your area. Network. Many breeders won't sell a cat with breeding potential to someone with no experience in the world of cat breeding and showing. If you already have a cat, take it to some shows. Most shows have sections for cats that aren't a specific breed, and make some contacts. Pick a queen, female, carefully. In addition being in good health and of an age appropriate for breeding, at least 18 to 24 months. Here are some things to take into account. Does she display the standard characteristics of her breed? Does she have the correct paperwork detailing her ancestry? Does she have breeding rights? Did her mother or grandmother have any pregnancy complications? Cats that have been shown and done well will produce more desirable kittens, so consider whether you can show her successfully, or whether she has already been shown. Is she friendly and sociable? Find a good stud. Most of the things you look for in a queen are very similar to those you want in a stud. Character, looks, breed status, and health are equally important. Stud owners should have paperwork that demonstrates the current health and breed status of their cat. It isn't wise to use a pet cat as a stud. Normal behavior for unneutered male cats includes aggression and spraying, and this behavior doesn't necessarily cease if the tom is later neutered. Ask around at vets, cat shows, and breeders to find an eligible stud who's not too closely related to your queen. It's worth traveling to the right stud if you want it to be easy to find good homes for your kittens. Make a vet appointment for your queen just before you breed. You need to make sure that both cats are healthy before breeding them. Some things to have the vet check for are: vaccinations should all be up to date, FELV and FIV. These tests should happen directly before each breeding. Ringworm, ear mites and fleas. A stool check should be performed for internal parasites, genetic diseases including polycystic kidney disease, hip dysplasia, patellar luxations, and heart disease. Any breed-specific diseases. Plan a budget. Raising kittens is expensive. The following are estimates of some costs that you should take into consideration. Veterinary care. Like human mothers, feline mothers need extra veterinary checkups to ensure that the pregnancy is going well, and can have unexpected complications necessitating procedures such as a C-section. Pre-breeding checkup -$700, during pregnancy checkup with ultrasound -$160, or with X-ray $110, emergency C-section, at least $300. Food. Good quality food for your queen is important throughout her entire life, but especially during pregnancy. You also need to make sure her kittens have good quality food as they are weaned. This is essential to their development. You should budget for things like fresh chicken, fish, special kitten food, and raw good quality minced beef, all of which are good for weaned kittens. Food for the queen during pregnancy and lactation -$147. Emergency food for the kittens if something goes wrong with their milk supply -$20. Registration fees -$155 for your first year as a breeder. If you want your kittens to have the advantage of a pedigree, you need to register yourself as a breeder and register your queen, and each litter. Heating, in the winter. Kittens need to be kept warm all the time, and in the winter, this can add up to a sizable bill. Consider carefully. There are a lot of unwanted kittens in the world, so you should be sure you want to breed more cats before starting. If your main reason for wanting to breed cats is to have kittens to play with, consider volunteering for your local animal shelter. Most shelters send rescue kittens home with trained volunteers until they are weaned and ready to be adopted. Some other things to take into considerations are: money. Can you afford all of the costs of kitten raising if you don't manage to make a profit selling the kittens? Time. Breeding cats and raising kittens are both time-intensive activities. You should not leave an expectant mother or little kittens alone for extended periods of time. Even a workday is too long. Finding homes for the kittens. Is there a market for bred cats in your area? Are you prepared to do the marketing required to find good homes for them? Any home is not a good home. You're responsible for making sure that the people who adopt your kittens aren't going to get tired of them, or get rid of them because the cat developed bad behavior due to poor treatment. Ethical issues. While there are some people who are looking for specific appearance of characteristics in cats that are only found in purebreds, consider whether your kittens might end up in homes that would have been equally happy with a rescue cat. Every year in the US, 1.4 million adoptable cats are euthanized in shelters because no suitable home for them can be found. Method 2. Breeding your cat. Identify when your cat will be fertile. Cats will usually only be fertile during the spring and summer, though indoor cats who are exposed to a lot of artificial light may be fertile year-round. Ovulation in cats is provoked by the act of mating, and if the cat doesn't ovulate, the cycle of fertile stages will probably repeat several times. 10. Some cats won't demonstrate signs of this cycle in the presence of their owner, so pay attention to the tomcats in the neighborhood too. They will turn up when a female is in heat. 11. The stages of the estrus cycle, excluding anestrus, which is when the cat isn't fertile in the winter, are proestrus. This stage may last 1 to 2 days, but may be as short as an hour, and isn't seen in all cats. During this period, she may call to the tom, roll and rub on the ground, but won't allow the tom near her. Estrus. This stage usually lasts about a week, and is when the queen should be taken to the tom for mating. The primary sign of this period is her vocal call to the male with a specific type of yowl. This sound is generally a short-ish, plaintive, hollow-sounding yowl that sounds almost like, ah-roo-ah, though it can vary between breeds, so be sure to check with a breeder who is familiar with your breed, and will be accompanied by the cat doing all she can to get to any toms in the area. 13. Metestress. If the cat did not ovulate, she will enter this period, which usually lasts about a week before estrus or estrus periods return. She will show no sign of reproductive activity during metestress. Know what mating entails. The owner of the stud will usually take care of these arrangements, but knowing what to expect is a good idea. No reputable stud owner will hide any of his preparations from you, and you should check to make sure the owner knows what to do. The tom needs a place to escape to just after mating takes place, as the female often reacts viciously. Be prepared to hear a blood-curdling shriek from the female. This is normal. Immediately after mating, the female will probably frantically groom herself for about an hour, during which time she won't allow anyone near her. After this, the estrus period will continue as it was before mating occurred until its natural end. It is important to make sure a cat is bred more than once during an estrus period, since she will not ovulate until after she has mated. 3 breedings a day for the first 3 days of the estrus cycle should produce a 90% chance of the queen ovulating. Plan for second mating, if necessary. If your cat does not become pregnant on her first visit to the stud, there are several possible timelines. She didn't ovulate. If this is the case, she will become fertile again in about a week. She ovulated, but didn't become pregnant. This period is called Metestress. It lasts 5 to 7 weeks, and during it she will not demonstrate any reproductive activity. She became pregnant, but the pregnancy was unsuccessful. If this is the case, she will become fertile again 2 to 3 weeks after losing the kittens. Make sure your cat doesn't mate with any other toms. When your female cat is in heat, she will call to any male within earshot, and desperately try to get outside to mate with any tom who responds to her call. But it isn't a good idea to let her choose her own mate, because then you won't know anything about the kitten's father, and any potential illness or genetic problem he may pass down to them. Even after the queen has been bred by your chosen stud, as long as the estrus cycle lasts, she will try to continue mating, and any of these matings could produce any of the kittens she produces.